go in 3, 2, 1. There's the yaw, there's the engine needle, down collective, aft cyclic, looking for that 60.
What you just saw was the entry to Hauser doing a straight in the R-22. We're going to get right back to that video and let you see Hauser out messing around. Then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about an update to aircraft registrations that you may or may not know already. Update to the first advanced auto course that started yesterday. We're going to update you there. We're going to update you on the R-44 that's on its way home. And we got a new box of goodies over here. We're going to bring up and show you what's included in the professional pilot membership. We're going to give you number 3 of 7 steps to private pilot. We're going to talk about the 13-year Sale and Celebration that starts March 1st. And I'm going to tell you a cool clone story about a flight instructor and his students at a flight school using our clone, and do an update with that and show you something really cool and how cool the clone really is. And then we're going to tell you about the Hauser Hunter team. So Hauser's going to be back next week flying the R-22. We're going to have Hunter up here, who's our newest part-time instructor. We're going to do some filming, some other fun stuff. So we're going to tell you about that after we go back and finish Hauser's video. And this is just Hauser going out a few days ago just to kind of start warming up before our advanced auto guy got here. So we thought we'll share to you just a little bit of Hauser going out and working on a straight-in auto and kind of get his terminology. But there'll be more to come on that. That was Hauser just warming up last week. So next week we're going to work on filming them and getting close in on the panel, because I know you always ask for that. Can we see the panel? This cool little stabilized camera that Lindsay's holding right now, we're going to use that in the aircraft and get you some nice panel shot for autos. And actually we're going to reshoot all the video. Actually, we're shooting brand new maneuvers for all the R-22 maneuvers that go inside our R-22 course. So let's finish Hauser's video, then we'll be back to talk about all the rest of this fun stuff.
All right, let's do an auto, see what happens. Do a straight in auto here. What I usually do with the autos with students is I start them up high and then we work our way down. So maybe we'll go up to 1,800 feet or so. Enter the auto. And then for the first couple times, I'm not too concerned about a spot. I mean, yes, we want to, at least have a general idea of the spot, but I'm more concerned about technique first, and then we'll worry about hitting a spot. Warsaw traffic, I'll get the 346 Victor Hotels on the left of the downwind 27 Warsaw.
Florida traffic around 25.
And the way I teach these is I like to be at, yes, I'm starting a little higher, but we eventually will be at cruise airspeed and your normal cruise altitude. There's no point in practicing autos at 2,000 feet if you're never ever going to be cruising at 2,000 feet. Most of the time when I fly, I'm 800 feet above the ground, so that's where I should practice it. But right now we're going to continue to climb. We're going to come on up a little bit more just to get us some time in the glide. 2 indications of a engine failure. Your first 2 that you should always say is yaw to the left and a counterclockwise aircraft, and engine needle is gone. Engine needle dropped. So yaw to the left, engine needle down to nothing. And then you can always add the other stuff, like you don't hear the engine, or maybe cylinder head temp is through the roof, or none at all, or whatever. But your first 2 you should always answer with yaw to the left and a counterclockwise, and engine needle down to nothing. All right, we're still continuing to climb here. And this is a planned event, and this is a power recovery, so we are still going to do our pre-landing, so warning caution lights are off. Needles are matched up. Temps and pressure looks good. Still got plenty of fuel for what we're doing. Landing lights still on, so we're looking pretty good. So there's 1,800. Let's get to cruise airspeed here. All right, coming on around. Warsaw traffic, helicopter 346 Victor Hotels on the left base, turning final 27 Warsaw. Alright, and what I will do is I will never surprise somebody. We'll always count it down. It might be a quick one, but Robinson does not want us surprising anybody by rolling throttle down, so we always announce it. I may just say, hey, engine failure, 3, 2, 1, and now we have an engine failure, but I just don't do it. Just don't roll throttle off or anything like that. Alright, so we're looking good.
Hey, traffic, check your front up,
1800.
131 Andrews.
Lined up on 27. We're just going about our day, having a fun day because it's beautiful out. All of a sudden you think you hear a sputter in the engine. You start looking at gauges, don't really see anything. So you're keeping an eye on it. Think you might hear it again. You're still not sure.
And your traffic, Cherokee 404, Dakota, turn left, 831 Andrews.
Alright, so again, we lost about 100 feet here, trying to keep the speed up. Add a little power here. Alright. Let's see how this is. We're going to have a little bit of a right quartering headwind, so let's see. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. There's the yaw, there's the engine needle. Down collective, aft cyclic, looking for that 60. Maybe just a hair up on the collective. Keeping that needle in the green, we're looking good. Holding at 60. We have to adjust collective. Keeping that scan going. Holding 55 on airspeed, needles are looking good. This is going to be a power recovery. Okay, treetop level, we're going to start that flare. There we go. A little bit of a flare. The flare gets more aggressive. Rolling throttle in, let governor take over. Stay on top of your pedals there as she settles. Boom. Not too bad, looks like I got my nose off to the side just a little bit. But overall, I'm not doing one in a while. I think I look pretty good.
Something cool that we want to tell you about is one of our recent CFI members. He was here a few months ago, and he recently emailed me and said, hey, Kenny, I've been using the clone, and thank you, this is great. And our students have been using it. And he said, it's been flawless. He said, I found one thing in the clone, though, that was outdated. And he said, it still tells us that it's 3 years instead of the new 7 years on aircraft registration. So what I'm going to show you shortly is how we update the clone. And I'm going to show you how it worked just since yesterday. Basically, yesterday I showed you my new certificate without the expiration date. So when Hauser was here before he left, I just told him, hey, I told him how we update videos, and he goes, what? And I go, yeah, here, watch, Hauser. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna activate the voice.
With this cutting-edge tool, you have the option to type in your questions or simply click the phone icon and speak your queries directly. Our AI assistant is designed to provide you with instant responses, ensuring that you receive the guidance you need at your convenience.
Hey, so I heard that you just renewed your CFI under the new regulations where after the 24 months, you can still get reinstated. Did you just do that? And can you tell me more about that?
You're absolutely right. My CFI did expire in December, and I took care of it in January under that new 3-month grace period. I jumped on the online course, knocked it out, and got everything submitted. And let me tell you, it was a huge relief to see that new certificate come in the mail. This new rule is a game changer for instructors like me who might miss the renewal window. Before, if you let it lapse, you were stuck scheduling a full reinstatement check ride, which is a whole ordeal. Now, with that extra time, you can still get it done without the stress of a check ride hanging over your head. So yeah, I've been through it firsthand, and I can confirm it works. Do you have any specific questions about the process?
That's it for now, thank you. The cool thing is, I knew that I hadn't updated that yesterday. So yesterday's video, I did that in the video, and Lindsay uploads these videos to the clone, so the clone gets updated information. So since that student or past CFI pointed out that, hey, this needs change, now it should be changed in the clone because we have updated the Private Pilot Study Guide. We updated this with our latest version. We put in the ACS verbiage instead of practical test standards, and we updated that the aircraft registration is now 7 years. It was 3 years, it's now 7 years. And there, boom, we just updated the clone. So, and we'll test that tomorrow. Make sure the clone's updated and understands now that it was 3 years for many years. Now it is 7 years. There's an example of a past FAC CFI guy out showing his students the clone, and he said, we're all using it. He goes, dude, it's phenomenal. AskHogs.com, that's where what we're talking about. You go to the clone. So that's how we're keeping the clone updated. We're sure it's 97% accurate, right? And over time, as things change, we keep making videos, load them in the clone, and you get the updates. We had to do the no-go today. Had to hit the no-go button. We're all here this morning, but the visibility in the ceilings just weren't very good. So CW decided he wanted to come home and come back on another day. But he hung around because Heather brought in homemade chicken for sandwiches. And so I said, you gotta at least stay and have lunch. And we hung around and talked, but the visibility was improving and the ceiling was improving. However, Hauser wanted some really good visibility and really good ceiling. So when they go out to do zero auto rotation and 360-degree auto rotation and these different things, you want to be, all kinds of different airspeeds and altitudes. And we want CW to get that full effect. And there's Taz. They're on their way. The R-44, we've been tracking their flight. We've been posting on social media. I fell behind on making their last post. They're making it today. The R-44 will be at our mechanics probably within an hour or two. And then we're all going out later to the old Rex's rendezvous. Me, Jason, and Taz and Lindsay as well. And Lindsay's husband, who'll be running open mic night. Those of you that have come for the FAC, everybody that's went with us to Rex's has had a good time and know that it's like the thing. So that's happening. So the R-44 getting dropped off at the mechanic tonight so we can get it inside, get started on the annual. Hopefully, maybe mid next week, the R-44 will be home with fresh 100 annual ready to go. So that's exciting. I got in the mail and I had to open it up last night, and I did this on social media because I couldn't stand it. So our latest backpacks have arrived. And now I can tell you, I have been carrying mine. Here's mine that I carry every single day. This goes home with me every night and comes back with me every day to the airport. I carry my laptop, and just my day-to-day items that I want to have with me. It travels with me. It's been to Vegas and it goes back and forth. So I've been beating this around probably a year and a half now, and it freaking looks like new. So we just got another load in. So with Professional Pilot, you get your choice during the sale while supplies last, because we're going to run out. You can get a backpack, or you can get the famous, because we're helping making it famous, your badass knee board. And again, I have no paid endorsements of any kind. Nobody endorses me for anything. I purchased these. This young man sent me a couple years ago, and I really like them. So now I occasionally buy them for giveaways, and I just ordered 5 more. And we were talking about them during our 7 Steps to Private Pilot. So we have these available. He's shipping 5 on the way. So we have 5 of those coming. And then we have 12 hats coming, which Hauser's down for 1. Do you need one, Lindsay? You already got one. So Hauser's down for 1. So we're gonna have some hats. So you can have your choice of the Hogs Ball Cap, which is a super nice hat. It's not a cheap hat. None of the stuff we buy is cheap. We buy the good stuff. And we're gonna show you shortly number 3 of the 7 Steps to Private Pilot. We're gonna cover that here in a minute. We got a video on that. 13, we're tomorrow. No. Saturday. Saturday is March 1st, and that's the official start of our 13 years online celebration. You are a follower, a viewer, so it's on now. Lucky 13. My daughter's birthday's on the 13th. 13 is a great number. Some people think it's a bad number. I think it's a great number. So we used Lucky 13, play on that seat, Lucky 13. We thought it was a good idea. 50% off any course, but with Pro Pilot, you get one of the specials, your choice. Heather will reach out to you after you sign up, and we will ship you your choice. And what else we got? Oh, so I did the CFI story already on the clone. That's cool. And then Hauser Hunter team. Chris Hauser, if you've been watching videos in the last week, you've been seeing him around with us for years. I trained Hauser years ago, back before Hogs, private commercial CFI. Hauser's now my right-hand man. We should probably give him a chief pilot or a lead instructor or some kind of a title, but he's my right-hand man, been helping me with FACs for the last year. And now we're bringing in Hunter, which we've mentioned in a few posts. Hunter is our newest CFI. Hunter has a full-time job. He's a full-time law enforcement officer, like I was and Hauser was. And now Hunter is a law enforcement officer looking to do what we've done, right? At some point, he wants to move on to full-time pilot. So he fits right in with the crew, okay? We really like Hunter, super motivated individual, young guy. He came up here and did his commercial with us. Heather, is that right? Commercial and CFI? Yeah. He came here for both his commercial and CFI. He's now qualified in the R-22 and R-44. He's been working with Hauser off and on for years on his ratings. So he didn't just fall off the turnip truck. He's been flying with both of us. He's been with me going to Chicago and back a couple times on Time Builders last summer. And we have a lot of faith in Hunter. So we're gonna get him in here next week, flying with Hauser and I both, just to get him freshened up and ready to fly with anybody that wants to come do some flying with us. And gonna get him freshened up, and we're gonna do some fresh videos. Heather's gonna wear her Hogs gear. We're gonna get out in the R-22, do some flying. Hopefully be flying the R-44 by the end of the week. We'll be sporting hopefully some new Hogs polo with the logo. I finally ordered some, so those hopefully will be in tonight, because something's coming. Every day something new is arriving. It's been fun. It's like Christmas. I think that's it. So now we can, oh yeah, we did the Hauser video already, right? We rolled that already. So now we are going to show you step number 3 of the 7 steps to private pilot. We're back to 7 steps to private pilot. Number 3, clear the first hurdle, pass the FAA written. And I want to talk about that because we have people sometimes that show up, they've been through almost everything, requirements are done, and they came here, and we had one guy specific for a CFI, and he didn't do the 25 question add-on for a written test. He was under the impression another flight school said, oh, well, you don't need one. Well, there is one, and our examiner says if there's one in the database, then you have to take it. So we had the check ride scheduled. Problem is, going in last minute, you take the written test, it has to populate in the FAA website, and almost delayed the check ride. Luckily, everything went through. Many years ago, somebody said, it's a really good idea to get the FAA written test done prior to solo. And I agree with that. Yes, it's a lot of studying in the beginning as you're going through your training. However, the reason somebody along the way said that, get the written test done before your solo. I understand the concept. Once you start soloing and working on finishing everything up for the rating to go take the test, you really don't want that FAA written test hanging there in the balance, and you're still trying to work on that, and you're trying to get your requirements done, you're trying to get all your solo time done. It just kind of throws a wrench in it, and people will say, oh, well, I'm working on it. Well, I'm gonna take it next week. Oh, and then, well, I was gonna take it last week, but my dog ate my, written test paperwork or whatever, right? Like stupid excuses. So it's really, really smart to get the FAA written test done early, because then you can put that to sleep and focus on the next steps of getting through the test. So we have a couple of options for you, and there are other options out there on the internet, but one of them that we have is called the Private Pilot Study Guide. And our operations manager, Brian Rutledge, went through and thought of, or not just thought of, he actually went through the PTS at the time, we've now updated it with the ACS, went through and just thought of every single thing he could think of. Turned out to be about 400 questions that we have in this book. And the beauty of the book is it's only in spiral bound, and it's not a digital product, because we want you to be able to sit down, and we'll use the first chapter as an example. We go through and we ask all the questions, and you have room to write in your answer. And then the second half of the book is the same question repeated with the right answer. And we learn through repetition. So going through it, it's your book, you can do what you want, but the idea is you write down the answer to each question and then go test yourself. Because we learn through reading, we learn through writing, we learn through going, okay, how close was my answer to the appropriate answer? And we have this thing broken down into airworthiness. Well, let's start with the first one. Certificates and documents, airworthiness requirements, weather information, cross-country, airspace, performance and limitations, operation of systems, aeromedical factors, general aerodynamics. I always have trouble saying aerodynamics. But anyway, this is going to help you for not only the oral test, but also for the written test. Then also inside Helicopter Land Ground School, for private pilot, instrument pilot, commercial pilot, and certified flight instructor, we have written test practice at the end of each course. So we have quizzes through the different lessons, because each lesson has multiple videos, and there's a quiz at the end of each lesson. Then at the end of the full course, there is FAA written test practice. It pulls from over 400 questions in a 100 question test. and it's set up like the FAA written test. So it simulates what you're going to do when you go take the test at the FAA testing center. So each time you take it, it pulls from that bank of questions. So each time you're getting some new questions added. You can take that as many times as necessary, and then that written test practice is also available for FAA Wings credit. It's just a big relief. The sooner you get that written test done, the better. I've been teaching for 24 years, and I prepare people for check rides. That's what we do here at Hogs. We help people get through the training. And so many times that written test is the problem. Oh, well, I still got to take the written test. But hey, I want to come up and fly. I want to do my FAC. Well, get the written done and call us back. We won't even put you on the schedule. We won't even consider you if the FAA written test is not done, because we run into it over and over again. And I get it. It's a pain. It's a lot to study, and it's time consuming. In order to get a good score on your written test, you got to put some time and effort into it. And there are some things that you're going to study for the written test that you're really not going to use on a day-to-day basis being a helicopter pilot. But you have to pay your dues, and there's a certain amount of things you got to learn to get through the written test, same as sitting down with the examiner. So it's better just to buckle down, go through it, and get it done and get it out of the way, so then you can move on to the next step. So we've got 4 more we're going to cover and 4 more videos. So go down below, another resource for newbies, because this series is geared for new people. Anybody can use things from this, but this is Private Pilot 101 Helicopter Training Blueprint. This is our hanger copy here that we can mark up and mess around with. We built this for beginners. This is built for somebody just starting out that wants tips and things that are going to help them get through the private pilot rating. If you try to do it on your own, it can be overwhelming. I failed my first private pilot check ride, and I turned that into a positive note by studying really hard to go back and retest. In turn, probably the best thing that ever happened to me, because I had to go back and study so hard to go back, and then it kind of changed everything moving forward. And I'm sure it had a hand in why we have what we have today with Helicopter Online Ground School. So you can benefit through my mistakes, because I've made all of them. I've had many of the headaches and hardships that people have went through to get a private pilot rating, and that's in the book, that's in our courses. My failures and the things that I've been through, I've made tips and talk about those experiences so that you can avoid those things to make your training go more smoothly. So we'll put a link down for this down below, and also a link for this. We'll put a link down there where you can check out the first chapter just to get a sample for it, and you can also order that book from the same link, and we'll put a PDF down below, a link for the PDF for this, and we'll put a link for helicopterground.com where you can go in and take a 24-hour test flight on any of the monthly courses for private, instrument, commercial, and CFI. So one other favor, if you would, we're trying to get to 50,000 subscribers on YouTube. It means nothing. I don't get any money. I don't get a play button. Nothing spectacular happens other than I hit a personal goal that 13 years I've been on YouTube or longer. 50,000 has always been kind of like that goal that just sounded really cool. So we're almost to 48,000. Do us a favor, subscribe, and if you click that bell, you'll be notified of the other 4 videos coming out on the 7 steps to private pilot. So subscribe, click that bell, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace out.
When you feel the pressure to fly, but know the right decision is to stay on the ground, hit the Hogs no-go and live to fly another day. Helicopterground.com.
At this point in my life and career, I ain't buying cheapy shit. I just got a dirty look. Should I have not said?
Because you deserve the best.
Because we deserve the best.
No,
that's right.
Members, our members.
Because members deserve the best. That's right.